Ah, fishing. That tranquil sport, most primitive of occupations. It is just you versus a creature of the wild. The way our ancestors first got their food. And indeed, the way many a person, even of the modern day, still survives. But you want to know what else? It reminds me of that stupid guy who keeps calling me every time I do something! So I don't like it anymore! Hello everyone, I'm LeaderofLuxinape. Are you ready for more Let's Play Pokemon Silver version? Where I treat you to an even weirder intro every episode. As you remember, last time, it was the butt end of my mic test. So anyway, in the last episode, we defeated Chuck at the Cyanwood Gym and got our 5th gym badge. In this episode, we are finally going to hand the secret potion to Amphi in the lighthouse and see what will happen from then. You gotta be kidding me! I couldn't have asked for better timing on that one. And... jeez. No! Anyway, you can talk to the regular fisherman. He tells you can catch Shelder here, provided you use the good rod. And he'll just tell you that different rods catch different Pokemon. This guy will block you from going any further. Don't want you to fall in the sea, so you're not allowed in. And this is a place that you've never even been to before, so I basically use the intro as an excuse to scream. It's this building located here. It is the Olivine Port fast ship here, but we can't ride the fast ship because we're not allowed to go to where the ship is. But I could have done that, basically done the exact same intro elsewhere. I just use that as a setting just to show you that that place existed and that it will actually be very plot significant later on in the game. Anyway, since all we're doing is ascending the lighthouse again, which we already did, and this isn't even going to have the trainers in it, I'm going to cut till we get back to Amphi. Well, that took unnecessarily long, considering that I actually got lost climbing my way up for the second time during the course of playing this file, and make of that what you will, but anyway, we're back here. Amphi. Paloo! His breathing is terribly labored. Seriously wish this was Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and the one aspect that you actually got an elevator here, and elevators were obviously programmed into the game because of the one in the Goldenrod department store. Anyway, you're going to want to talk to Jasmine, give the medicine, and please don't be Fenn, and Amphi will not take anything from anyone but her. And reuse sound effect from Pokemon centers. Amphi. Baloo! Baloo! And now that Amphi is cured, she will return to the gym, and you can challenge her now at any time. And theoretically, you can basically leave her in the gym for a really long time and even get what would normally be considered the 7th and 8th gym badges well first, then go back to Olivine when you're much more overpowered. However, I would still like to do the gyms in the normal order, which would be Chuck, Jasmine, next gym leader, as opposed to Morty, next gym leader, 8th gym leader, Chuck, Jasmine, or something more like that. But I really don't want 2 gym battles in a row. So what I'm going to do now is, now that I have Fly, we can go back to a lot of areas we couldn't. We can go to areas that we haven't been to for a while, like New Barktown. And what I'm going to do is go around collecting a lot of things, battling all the trainers that I could, not before I got Surf. I didn't want to do this as soon as I got Surf because it would take too long walking around the whole region, so I wanted to prolong it one more gym battle until I got Fly so that it would be that much easier for me. So with that, let the cutting spree begin. First off, we have in Cherry Grove City, the sea, as you can see, and that fat guy on a rock that was taunting us ever since the beginning of the game. Now, if you surf around here... Excuse me, Princess Tentacool. And... wow, I actually got lucky on that one. Never mind! I was gonna say I was lucky that the Tentacool was a female so I could make the excuse me joke, but now that I can't even escape... Seriously! And that goes without saying, too, that I get poisoned. Anyway, fat guy on a rock. The Pokemon I caught had an item. I think it's Mystic Water. I don't need it, so you want it. And for getting Surf, they're being nice to you here. You get the Mystic Water. And that's an item that increases the power of Water-type moves. Surf is a pretty powerful Water-type move. So we're going to give this to Sobek, despite the fact that his only move is Spew Droplets, and it would actually be more strategic to give it to Hydra, but there is an item that I would much rather give to Hydra, despite the fact that you can't get it for a really long time. Next up is... Actually, I don't think there's anything in Violet City. Oh, there actually is, but I should probably heal first. Okay, back in Violet City with an unpoisoned Sudowoodo. There is, first off, this body of water just south of the Sprout Tower. And if you cannot run into Pokemon, that would be nice. That's a Poliwag. You can't be angry at that. I'll be able to run away from it and stuff. Or not! And it can hit me with a super effective move that will probably make it even more difficult to run away. And it can put me to sleep. Why do I bother with anything ever? So what I was going to show is that you can come up here and get a rare candy, which is the second one we have now. I believe that's all in Violet City. There might have been another item in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, but... Off to Azalea Town, where probably the biggest amount of stuff is... by means of the Slowpoke Well and Union Cave. Okay, never mind. That's a normal NPC. Head out this way and go in the Slowpoke Well. I believe there's an item this way. Nope. Pointless water there. But go through all the places we fought Team Rocket. And remember that Strength Rock that I said we couldn't move for a really long time. And now... really long time later, you can move it and go along here, and you also need Surf for this, but it doesn't matter anyway because you need Surf to get Strength. Well, no, actually you don't. You can get to the basement level of the Slowpoke Well. And this guy is waiting to see Slowpoke's moment of evolution. Through observation, he made a new discovery. The Slowpoke with the King's Rock often gets bitten by a Shelder. And you get a King's Rock. The King's Rock has the ability, I believe, to increase the chance of flinching. Now, also, if you hand it to a Slowpoke and you trade that Slowpoke, you'll get a different evolution than by leveling up Slowpoke. And also, since this is a Slowpoke Well, you could find Slowpoke and Slowbro, which evolves from Slowpoke here. And I can get away from... well, it's even slower than a bridge is. And anyway, up here you can get TM18, which I'm pretty sure is Rain Dance, I'm going to want to say. Probably wrong on that. I know that... wow, I'm right. Okay, so I guess that's because Rain Dance is TM18 in a lot of games. But basically what Rain Dance does is changes the weather condition to rain. Now, since we haven't seen weather conditions much, basically all they do is change the effectiveness of some moves and sometimes will damage some types of Pokemon. Rain Dance makes Water-type moves more powerful and Fire-type moves less powerful. I have two powerful Water-type... I have Hydra with Surf, which is a powerful Water-type move, and then Sobek, which has Water Gun, but coupled with Mystic Water. But I don't want to use that in case I have some sort of need for Festus too, and if the rest of the earlier part of this LP was any indication, I really don't like using status moves. I always just go for the attack moves, which makes me as awful at competitive battling as I am. And now heading out of Slowpoke, well, we actually get to stay on our bike, which is surprising. nothing on the tree. That's nice. You can go into Union Cave. There's nothing in that water, but remember the Zubat from here? Just as weak, just as level 5, just as annoying. Now, for Union Cave, I actually do not intend to show, by any means, all of the lower level for now. You access it by going to where we went to the lower level before but couldn't do anything, and surfing over to the east. And here you get some trainers. That's a hiker. He has some pretty powerful Pokemon, that's why I'm not fighting him. Even the wild Pokemon are higher level down here, comparatively. There's him. There's a Strength Rock here. And this is a huge sprawling cave that... And this is actually an exit that leads... No. To the ruins of Alph. Well, anyway, that did lead to another stone puzzle, so why don't we just solve that? It's been a while since we went to the ruins of Alph, but I guess I was trying to go for a bit of a break. This was unexpected. I knew that an exit led to the ruins of Alph. I was going to solve a different puzzle than this one, but whatever. Yeah. This puzzle's actually a bit easier. I believe the hint has to do with something to do with Pokemon that soared the prehistoric skies, or such like that. I don't even know why I'm not talking. This is pathetically easy. And if you've ever been a fan of Ash Ketchum, you know and you loathe this Pokemon. And because... Come on. Come on. No. That's better. Because... No? What am I doing wrong? I always screw up on these puzzles. Alright, I see what I'm doing. That has to be moved down, because that's the point of the tail. That's the lower jaw. That has to be moved down. And that goes there. No. I'll be right back when I get this. There we go. That was worth a lot. That was a lot more pain than necessary for something that I'm not even going to use at all. And that unlocks several more letters of unknown. Perhaps later on in the game we'll return and do the other two puzzles, because there are 4. And it puts you out here, and after that I'm not in the mood to explore the Union Cave anymore, so... off to the locations nearest Goldenrod City. Goldenrod will be the last stop along this tour. And what you're going to want to do, not that. Not drowsy. I'm definitely not drowsy. If I were not drowsy, I would not be recording. Get off your bike would help. You're going to want to surf, move down 2 squares. Oh, well, never mind. That doesn't lead to the thing. That's just easier so they don't run into Pokemon, and it makes a good little fishing it. Really? What breaks have I caught yet? Name one time I caught a break. use Supersonic. Now it's going to use Poison Sting and poison me. I'm going to have to go back, heal my poisoning before I... Okay. So, if you get off here, you can see 3 trainers. This will be the introduction of a new trainer class. And it's also going to be 3 consecutive battles. And also, the rest of Union Cave is full of cool trainers, which are this type of trainer. And a bridge is probably not the best choice because there's a Goldeen. And I also wanted to hold this off until after beating Chuck because these 3 trainers are actually very powerful. Almost as... Not gonna... combined, the 3 of them pose as much of a challenge as Jasmine will be when we go back to fight her in what will likely be the next episode. And I like how Strength's animation, because Chuck throws boulders to show you that he's strong. So the animation for the move... Oh, no. Strength doesn't have anything to do with Chuck. Anyway, Sea King is up next, so we're just going to give Thor the level up for this. Combined, these 3 are approximately as tough to battle as Jasmine. They're harder than Chuck, for sure. I kind of had a pretty good run of him, especially with the Dragon Rage at the end, but I could still have beaten him. Also, as you saw, there are 3 trainers. The first 2 would fight you in a double battle in Heart Gold and Soul Silver because they added double battles, but they got rid of the part where if 2 trainers are facing, you battle one and then you battle the other. That's always a double battle. That's not even present in the code anymore as of Gen 3. And very easy battle there. I don't know why I thought this would be difficult. I mean, I guess once I fought them right after beating Morty, and that was really difficult. But second one will complain that you beat her friend or her sister or whatever. They're probably sisters considering they look identical to each other. And first one was Goldeen and Sea King. The second one will have Staryu, and leave it to your imagination to figure this out. And that must actually really hurt the Staryu because Abridged is smashing a rock on the gem core thing of Staryu, which is considered to beat like a human heart. So it's defeating it by smashing its heart open with a rock. I mean, I know the older Pokemon games were recognizably more violent than the newer ones, but that's pretty graphic to think of, and I sent out Hydro when I wanted to send out. So, whoa. In Heart Gold and Soul Silver, the levels are even, but this one is stronger and has a Starmie stronger than Morty's Gengar. And consider, this is basically, since you cannot... Z button. Basically, since you cannot heal, this is like fighting one trainer with 6 Pokemon. Really? It's gonna do that? This effectively, you're fighting one trainer with 6 Pokemon because you're gonna have they automatically launched into the next battle, so you have no time to recover in between them. So this is basically your first instance of a trainer with a full party. Now, don't worry, we're not just fighting these 3 for experience. There's actually a pretty good reward in the end of this. I'm actually not sure what it is, but 1152 experience points. That's like 36 less than from Poliwrath. What? That doesn't even make sense. And he's going to challenge us to a Z button battle while I'm in the middle of battling people. And you can actually recover after these 2 because she won't fight you until you step forward, but okay, they are all sisters. That's nice. And the last and strongest one will have Shelter, which is immediately level 26. I can't use... See if I could beat it as abridged, I guess. Quick Claw goes into effect. I should be... He's going to have to draw. It's covering itself with a plate. I mean... Well, it is a clam. Or an oyster, or one of those things. Actually, off screen, one of those Shelter used Aurora Beam on Hydra, and since it's an Ice-type move, I kept forgetting that Aurora Beam is an Ice-type move, and when I saw Hydra basically getting defeated by it, I like almost screamed or something. I'm gonna love seeing myself having a bunch of dragon types in X and Y every time I run into a fairy type. Now there's 3 types. There's gonna be 3 types super effective on dragon. Oh god, I could just see myself now, just running around screaming about, running around diagonally screaming about everything. Oh, you guys are gonna. I mean, it's not like I have viewers that I could just address as, like, you guys as a whole, in general, are going to want to see this, but someone out there is going to love seeing me play X and Y with a bunch of dragon types. Anyway, Cloyster, evolved form of Shelter, level 28. This is approaching the strength of Chuck's Pokemon. However, as you can see, I'm fighting with Hephaestus, and this is because Cloyster, as you might have guessed by the fact that Shelter learns Aurora Beam pretty easily, Cloyster actually gains a secondary Ice type when it evolves, so Fire moves are actually normally effective on it, which is pretty cool indeed, and most EXP we have ever gotten, which is can't really be trying to learn Smokescreen at level 25. That's rather pathetic. So, certainly am I not to learn that. And you don't get anything for beating them? Talk to her again. There we go. You have to talk to her again, and you receive the Soft Sand, which is an item that increases the power of ground-type moves, which doesn't really make sense since they're all water-type trainers. So, there is but one more item that I would like to pick up, and that is of the routes north of Goldenrod City, and should not take long at all, because this episode, like I said, it's basically collecting the items that we couldn't get before we had Surf. So I just went over all the regions of routes that, and this is just going to be an apricorn tree that will, or Mystery Berry, which I think restores PP. Could have sworn this was an apricorn. Is there an item up here? Well, that's pointless everything. Okay, weird. So in this episode, we kind of did what would be equated to, can't call it side questing. Aren't really side quests in a Pokemon game, but we did some collectings of items, I guess. And in the next episode, we are going to challenge the Olivine City Gym. So, until then, I'm LeaderofLuxinape, signing off.